I'm actually very happy to see this. I'm very, very happy. Whenever modders get fucked for trying to charge money for mods.
So today's video deals with an aspect of the community that's being stingy surrounding the modding aspect of Starfield, which actually ties into the sponsor of today's video pretty well, which is actually giving away something Starfield related. The sponsor of today's video is Signal RGB, which is currently giving out a badass Starfield-themed PC through a giveaway you don't want to miss.
Wait, it's a PC?
A unique PC like this doesn't come very often, and a powerful one at that, featuring the latest generation Intel i7 13700K processor and AMD Radeon 7900 XTX graphics card. Beyond boasting that NASA punk aesthetic that Starfield...
Well, this looks like a PC that my mom had in the year 1993, except everything here was green.
Leans into, the PC also integrates itself with the game with these 6 indicator lights that react and correspond to your ship's in-game stats. If one of these are below 50% in the game, then the appropriate indicator on the PC will pulse red, which is made possible by Signal RGB's application that syncs RGB devices from any brand. Offering even more functionality are the 2 stream decks at the bottom of the PC, as well as the custom knobs and icons you can take advantage of for quick access to features and shortcuts. Customizing the hardware of this PC is also super easy, with a front screen coming off and allowing you to access the internal components for servicing. This PC was meticulously built by Skytech Gaming, and it could end up being yours if you enter the giveaway by using my link in the video description and comment section below. Now, on the other hand,
I'm gonna laugh if somebody buys that and then they don't even play, or wins that, they don't even play Starfield, and they're like, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna use this for like Stardew Valley.
We've got this modder who has faced some controversy because of the way they've decided to paywall and even DRM a rather useful mod that helps the game look better on PC and or improve its performance. Now, Starfield as a game, there's been quite a bit of discourse surrounding it. When it comes to Metascore right now, the Xbox Series X version is sitting at an 85, and the PC version is sitting at an 87.
I think like a 5.6 or a 6.4 user score. I think a 6.4 is, I think that's okay. I think that's fair. Yeah, that's not awful. Like, I don't think it deserves to be a 5. I don't think it deserves to be an 8. It's a 6.4. I like that. I think that's a very good number. That's a great number.
User scores in like the 6s and 5s. There's been some mixed reception. I've been playing the game myself, and I'm going to discuss what my experience has been like in a later video. There are definitely things that I do like about it, and there are definitely things that I do have qualms about. Among the qualms that I do have with the game as a user of NVIDIA graphics card is its lack of DLSS implementation, as reported here by New South.
I don't have to worry about DLSS because I don't know what that is. I think it's anti-aliasing, but I'm not sure.
The Verge, there's an article published back in August 31st, 2023. The headline speaks for itself. Starfield doesn't have NVIDIA's DLSS at launch. And that was an active choice on the part of Bethesda because of a sponsorship deal that they have with AMD. So they have support for AMD's FSR technology, but DLSS, that's in the back burner for now.
That sounds like just bullshit that's bad for the player.
Likely a part of this sponsorship deal. Now, when AMD was inquired about this whole situation, their gaming chief, Frank Azer, insisted that if Bethesda want to do DLSS, they have AMD's full support. He says there's nothing blocking Bethesda from adding it to the game. But at the same time, he did disclose that money absolutely exchanges hands. When we do bundles, we ask them, are you willing to prioritize FSR? It's a request rather than a demand. If they ask us for DLSS support, we always tell them yes. Well, it's hard for me to say for sure why DLSS wasn't included in Starfield. I feel like
there's a lot of things that wasn't included in Starfield, like life on most planets. I mean, so yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like a setting like that is not really that big of a surprise.
Be at least some form of pressure for Bethesda to hold off on DLSS to, quote, prioritize FSR when money is exchanged. And if this were to be the case, this wouldn't be the first instance in which a developer sponsored by AMD made the decision to drop DLSS, as reported here by John Linman, who tweeted the following screenshot of a now deleted tweet where he talks about how he's personally spoken with 3 developers that implemented DLSS pre-release and had to remove it due to sponsorship, which is just so shitty. I mean, one of the cool things about PC gaming is how open the platform feels. And now we're starting.
Yeah, I really don't want to see things go down this route. And that's one of the good things about mods, is that people can always mod things to prevent this kind of shit from happening. Yeah, like things are artificially handicapped or made worse in order to make the product that the company is like trying to get paid to do. It's regression. It's very consumer unfriendly. So luckily we have mods that solve this problem, and there's really nothing the developers can do about it.
Trying to get certain benefits depending on which brand of graphics card you purchase, and this whole idea of excluding features like AI upscaling and performance enhancements because money was exchanged behind the scenes. That's just very anti-consumer, frankly. Now, as a result of that, modders already stepping in, trying to implement DLSS themselves, and among them is a modder going by the name Pure Dark. This is their Patreon page, and one of the benefits that's provided if you subscribe to their $5 a month subscription is that you gain early access to test builds for the kinds of mods that he releases, which is creating DLSS 3 and DLSS 2/FSR2/XESS mods. People have already tested out his DLSS mods, and they've proven to work. John Lindman tweeted here that the image quality of the game looks much better. I've also installed the DLSS mod. Good lord, does it make a big difference. Neon is so messy with FSR2 and normal TAA, while DLSS is pristine. And then
I haven't really had problems. Like, I think the Starfield graphics are just like a solid like 8.5 to 9. I don't think they're like amazing or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they're okay. But yeah, I'm also on a 4090, so maybe it's different for me.
Performance perspective, if you have a 4000 series NVIDIA graphics card,
you can
benefit from DLSS 3 frame gen, and the mod provided by Pure Dark has proven to be...
my computer's overpowered? Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not... Yeah. Okay, well, shit.
Effective on this front, doubled performance on a 4090 that was CPU bound, now averaging 130 plus frames per second. Now that's great. He's providing some really useful mods, but where the controversy kicks in is not only the fact that he's paywalling the DLSS 3 version in particular behind a paywall, being the Patreon subscription.
Yeah, of course.
He also decided to implement DRM to ensure that people pay, that people subscribe to his Patreon to access this DLSS 3 mod. And there's already plenty of controversy surrounding games being DRM'd, but now we're starting to see modding that's being paywalled being DRM'd as well. See, that's a line that a lot of people are like, whoa, 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 let's back up here. The very notion of paywalling mods has people feeling uneasy as it is because...
I don't think that any mod should be paywalled, and I think that it's actively in the developer's best interest to shut down anybody who is trying to paywall mods. The reason why is that you do not, like, the company does not owe you a living because you want to mod their game. Like, if you want to make money and ask for donations, I think that's totally fine, and every single company out there, minus maybe Nintendo, believes in that. But the truth is that mods should always be for the community. And if a mod is not available to the community, then it's actively hurting the game. Because now there are going to be more people, because this is the problem I've said with World of Warcraft too, with like paid mods for WoW and like paid plugins for WoW mods, right? Which is basically paid mods. These things hurt the game in the long run, because what they do is they make more people charge for mods to play the game. And what previously was a game with a bunch of free mods that you could try out and play, which increases the value of that game to the public, now you have to pay money for it, and that value is no longer recognized. So modders should always exist for the benefit of the community, first and foremost, and all mods should be free in all circumstances with no exceptions. So yeah, I think this is ridiculous that any mod is paid at all. What if the mods are only $1? What if you need 10 mods? Well, that's $10. Another modder will just do a free version. Yeah, exactly. And that's a good thing. All streamers should stream the game for free. Well, we do. You don't have to pay any money to watch the stream. I know, like, I will ban you for that comment, because I can see that you're, you know, you're trying to do that thing, right? But like, we do. And actually, so I'll even go further than that. In the Blizzard EULA, I've read it. I know. It's a mental disorder. I read the whole thing. There actually is a clause that says that you cannot charge money in order to watch content of World of Warcraft, but you have to make that content available to the public. So actually, correct? I read that too? Yes. So like, not only are you wrong in the idea of like trying to catch me in some sort of like double standard, but you're also just like wrong factually.
It isn't in line with the spirit of modding. Like, it's one thing to put up a donation link, but offer the mods for free and be like, hey, whoever needs to download these, go ahead. But also, if you want to support my work, you know, point to your donation link. That's great.
Yeah.
But to be like, you have to pay me to access this mod.
Yeah, paywalling mods is totally different than asking for subscriptions or anything else like that. So you try to charge people for your content? What? No. I didn't try to bot either, but I know that botting's against the rules. No, it's okay. I banned him too. Anyway, yes, I think all mods should be available to the public for free. I think that a modder should be allowed to solicit for donations. I think that's totally okay. But anything beyond that becomes problematic.
And to make sure that you pay, I'm going to implement DRM. That's where things get kind of murky. And so we're seeing articles like this from Dexerto. Starfield DLSS mod might be paywalled and fans are divided. Scrolling.
Yeah, there it is. And yeah, of course they are. Gotcha Andes are so weird. The reason why they're acting that way is these are people who live in constant resentment that streamers exist and are able to make money streaming. And so anytime that a streamer does something that they feel like they can try to like second guess them, they're going to try to, you know, like come in with their like stupid opinion. And it's like, what kind of a person sits around and gets mad about what somebody else does for a job? Well, a loser does, and a stupid loser does. So guess what? Well, they're going to come into the stream and they're going to be the ones talking. So it's just like you kind of have your work cut out for you. So free labor? Yes. Yes. I don't think that, like, yeah, yes.
Down there are details about how on August 19th, Pure Dark released their new Red Dead Redemption 2 DLSS 3 mod. With it comes a new form of DRM
No
for
one's
the
making
mod.
the mod.
And scrolling down here, you can see right here a quote where part of the installation process involves pressing end to open the menu, then authenticate.
Yeah, you think you're not thinking modding is work like coding, so they have to give their expertise for free? Well, no, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to mod. Are you stupid? Modding's not a job. And also, who says they can make money off of it? They can solicit for donations.
For the first time, no continuous subscription needed. Any account that has subscribed before can pass the authentication. So there is some kind of authentication process, some kind of DRM. This is something that was pointed out by Twitter users, and you can see right here scrolling down that this was not well received. I'm fine with donations. I would gladly donate to him, but putting it like this,
exactly.
Nah. Again,
So
a mandatory paywall combined with DRM. And this is something that has been implemented in Starfield's DLSS 3 mod as well. DLSS 2 has been put out for free by Pure Dark. You can see right here on Nexus Mods that Pure Dark did upload the replacement for FSR2 with DLSS or XESS. But DLSS 3 specifically, which benefits performance greatly for those who have the 4000 series of NVIDIA graphics cards.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not about what the mod is. I think that this is just like a categorical rule that I have. Anything that is a mod should be free. It's that simple. That's it. Like, I don't care if it's like a performance mod, a make this character's butt bigger or boobs bigger mod. I don't care if it's an inventory mod. All mods should be completely free. What about WoW add-ons? Yes, they should also be completely free. And actually, Blizzard has explicitly stated that they need to be completely free. But Blizzard doesn't care about their own rules. So they just let people like Rested EXP do it anyway. And Zygor. Yeah, I mean, explicitly, they do state that making money with your mods or requiring people to pay money for mods is something that's bad. Imagine if DBM went behind a payroll. Well, yeah, exactly. The guy worked for his mods. Why shouldn't he not get paid? He should get paid through donations. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get paid. I agree with you. I just don't think they should be paywalled. Is it that hard to no one donates? Who the fuck cares? How's this your problem? Does that mean every streamer should like, oh, well, I'm streaming, I should just be paid to stream? No. If you stream and people aren't watching you, and they're not donating, then you don't make any fucking money. It's that simple. It's not the same thing. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Imagine if your streams or YouTubes had to be paywalled. Exactly. Paid mods are literally non-official payable DLCs. Exactly. Yep. It's like a cover song versus an actual song. Yep. Money changed your perspective on normal living. I'm going to ban you for that. I will ban you for that, but I will, again, this is a comment I'm going to address. Let's actually just talk about what I'm saying. I'm saying that the public should not have to pay additional fees in order to play a video game, because it creates a precedent that will then create a culture of making people pay money for mods, which will in turn ultimately cause the customer to have to pay more money, and it will diminish the quality of products that companies put out for the money that that customer pays. So it's ironic that you use that type of argumentation against me, that I think this because I have money, whenever the actual truth is that this is something that I am advocating for people who do not have money, for people who do not have the resources to pay for extra mods, to pay for extra plugins. Because I think that their money that they invest in buying the game should entitle them to what the game is in its entirety, including mods. So, in fact, it's the opposite. I am making this argument for the public. I'm not making this argument for a few mod developers who think that they deserve to profit off of somebody's IP by paywalling their shit. So it's such a funny fucking thing that I get to hear that. Then just play the game without mods. The game sucks without mods, and don't play it. What does that have to do with it? I think he was referring to the modders need to make a living. Not every single thing that you do you deserve to make a living at it. You don't need to make a living streaming either. If you can't make any fucking money streaming, then get another job. Then stop streaming. Stop working. Stop doing something that you can't monetize in that way. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're not entitled to make a living making mods for a video game. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're doing this entirely on somebody else's IP. Now, if Blizzard, for example, said nobody can stream our games anymore, Nintendo used to do this. They did. And you know what? They turned it around because they said this is not good for our community. They used to have a Nintendo partner program on YouTube, and Nintendo would take a percentage of that money. And they went away with that. They got away with that. Or sorry, they did away with that. But they were okay with, people were okay with that. It is what it is. Because nobody deserves, like, they're literally selling the company's code. That's what they're doing. They're selling a plugin to the company's code. This is not some sort of like original product or anything like that. This is a derivative of something that already exists. Modders has multiple revenue streams, a true meritocracy. Yes. True. And people can make money however they want, but I don't think they should be able to paywall the mods. You can make mods, but you can't expect people to pay for them. Yes, exactly. Streamers and YouTubers profit off of the game IP. What's the difference? Are you stupid? all right, we're gonna pull it up right here. Let's go. I literally just explained it. Do you not understand? Do you not understand? You're arguing that people shouldn't get paid for their work because it's an improvement to another person's work? No, I'm not. I'm arguing that people should not be able to paywall their work because it is a disservice to the product that they paid to use and everybody else paid to use, and they're using their code, and they wouldn't be able to make their money unless that product existed. Should be a free market. Modding can sell mod and people have a choice to buy or not. I just asked, I opened a stream 2 minutes ago. Don't know what we've been talking about. Okay, yeah, that's fair. You might not have seen what I said. The difference is that streamers and YouTubers don't paywall their content. So, like, for example, like, it wouldn't be the same thing if like, it's not, this isn't the same as streaming. It's not, because, like, you didn't pay any money to watch this stream. Like, if, for example, somebody was making paid videos of, like, video games and it became, like, a popular thing for, like, guides, I would also shit on them. So, like, again, I think that people are trying to... People's lack of understanding of a topic gives them the Dunning-Kruger effect of thinking that they've caught me in some sort of, like, double standard. There actually is no double standard. I'm being completely consistent.
That is behind a paywall and a DRM. And as this Twitter user pointed out, this will likely set a precedent. I expect this will affect all of his upcoming DLSS Super Res / frame gen mods, for example, for Starfield. So if you don't sub to his Patreon for at least $5 a month, then you won't be able to get...
Dunning-Kruger is never... People are so stupid that they think they're smart.
His mods working for your games. And so we're seeing plenty of posts of people who were once subscribed to his Patreon and are now deciding to cancel their subscription. Canceling my Patreon sub to him, says this post with over 100 likes. And there are plenty of similar comments if you look around here. Here is another set of comments. Here's somebody saying distasteful DRM for mods. Basically, I was a Patreon subscriber for him, but I just canceled. Now, there are those out there who are in support of paying him for his work and stuff like that. But I feel like more often than not, you'll see that the more popular comments are along the lines of...
Well, people are already getting nickel and dimed by their own company, right? They're already paying $70 fucking for a video game, and now you have this parasite that's trying to attach himself to the video game and then trying to make their mods paywall as well, so you have to pay them an extra $5. It's ridiculous. They're not entitled to make the money off of somebody else's IP and then paywall the fucking content. It's all about the paywall. I have no problem with modders making money, but if you have to paywall for it, it's not okay.
This is not in the spirit of modding. And so it should come as no surprise that the community got to work and very quickly cracked this modder's DRM and made the mod available for free. The free non-DRM version of this mod quickly spread across the internet, so I guess if you know where to look, it's a non-issue. But the fact that this step had to be taken at all...
There it is. You knew it, I knew it, everybody knew it. And the best thing about it is that he can't sue them because he actually doesn't own it, because it's derivative of Bethesda's stuff. Now, he might try to get it taken down, but they can just put it back up and he has no recourse at all. Isn't the internet great? You sure? Yes. Sometimes I kind of believe that this world might fix itself if we allowed it to. Yep. Yes, look into it. He can't take it down. That's right. And, like, the funny thing about this is that we all knew how this story was going to end. I have a counter-argument. Oh, I'm not going to read it. It's stupid. I read the first line. It's stupid. Don't want to waste my time. The fact is that this is obviously good for most players. And the best thing about these paid mods is that this is going to happen every single time. It's going to happen every single fucking time.
Just left a poor taste in people's mouths. Yep. And right here is further explained by Dexerto. The DLSS 3 mod sports frame generation tech for those on NVIDIA's RTX 40 series cards. Pure Dark knew that this would be wanted by a large swath of the audience and is protecting their work with DRM. And it's not surprising that It's not surprising that Pure Dark's Starfield mod was cracked so quickly. And it will always happen. People will always find a way to promote it. And now this guy is going to get shit on for years. In 2 years, whenever Starfield DLC comes out, this guy's going to try to make a mod about it or talk about it, and people are going to shit on him. And you know what I say? I say good. That's what you fucking deserve. You want to be a little rat leech? That's what you get. Mod was cracked so quickly. I mean, games from the biggest publishers and developers eventually get cracked, so I'm not surprised that Pure Dark's DRM didn't secure his mod for all that long. More specifically, the mod was protected with a custom DRM and VRM, a Google protection software, but this has been cracked and quickly shared less than 24 hours after Pure Dark's original upload.
There it is.
So his DRM...
Less than 24 hours. Good for them.
Really all that effective and has caused quite a bit of backlash. On Reddit, you'll see people spreading the word that DLSS 3 plus FG mod for Starfield by Pure Dark has been cracked already. Paid mods get what they deserve for implementing their own DRM inside them. You can see right here that plenty of people are not happy about the way Pure Dark has decided to paywall and DRM his mods. This post right here has garnered thousands of upvotes, and you've got plenty of comments saying things like, paywall mods, bruh. Bethesda tried this shit years ago and see how it ended.
Yep, there it is. This is fucking great. Is paywalling mods specifically against any rules in the case of WoW? You say it is, but what about Starfield? I don't think that Starfield probably has, I don't know, maybe they do or they don't. So what I would expect Starfield would have in their EULA is that any mod that's made derivative or made through the use of or for the function of interacting with their code is also their, they functionally own it. In the same way that, like, if you make fan art of an IP, like, for example, like Sonic the Hedgehog, you make fan art of Sonic the Hedgehog, well, Nintendo can take it down. So, yeah, I don't know. And also, like, even if they don't have that in their license agreement, it's legally true. Yes, Sonichu. Yes, they could Nintendo could theoretically shut down Sonichu. It's mentioned on their EUL. Yeah, I just don't, I'm assuming that it is, because I've seen other EULAs that have stuff like this. But yeah, these people are always going to get shit on. I feel sorry for the guy. It's his work. He should be able to ask people to pay him for his work. I totally agree. I think he should be able to ask people to pay him for his work. I just don't think he should require it.
So on and so forth. Endorse donations and mods all the way. Yep. Again, optional donations. True. People saying, hey, please support my work. People will gladly do it if, you know, they feel like the mod really had a positive impact. But to demand money to gain access and implement DRM again just doesn't sit well. The mod apparently had VM protect plus custom protection. They got what they deserve, so on and so forth. Good. Yep. That shit is beyond a joke. Totally fine with mod makers putting up a donation link for anyone that wants to reward them for their work. But paywalling, then DRM is dirty as shit. Hope going forward his work is cracked each and every time and face rubbed in it. It's de nouveau level fuckery. Yeah, this is what a lot of the discussion surrounding Pure Dark's monetization scheme of his mods looks like. On Twitter, you've got users like...
It's that simple. Developers should have included, honestly, no. People should at least get as mad. People should at least be just as mad at them as this modder. Oh, yeah, definitely Bethesda should have included this. And it's really stupid. But, like, the thing is that, like, Starfield has already racked up so many and also, like, the reason why we didn't get this feature in Starfield probably has to do with some sort of exclusive contract, too. So it's even stupider than you would have imagined. So I totally agree that they should be shit on. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean we can't shit on somebody else. Yeah, if the devs had a stance of encouraging modders to make paywalled mods, I'd be fine with that, but I'd agree with you. In a case like this, paywalling something you don't own should be frowned upon. I think that it should be, and also, if the developer is okay with it, this is what I said with Rested EXP, right? Is that Rested EXP is like a paid bullshit add-on for WoW. In my opinion, I think Blizzard should shut them down. I do. I think it's harmful for the community, but that's not my decision to make. That's their decision. That's Blizzard's decision. And so if Blizzard doesn't care, then why should I? Do you feel the same way about cosmetic mods? Yes. All mods should be free.
PC Focus, who tweet about general and interesting PC info and news, cracked/pirated games.
Oh, by the way, I hope more mod makers paywall their mods in WoW. I think they all should. Because why is it okay for Rested EXP to do it, but nobody else can do it? I think they should all do it. It's unfair.
And de nouveau info as well as benchmarks. They were none too happy about this, and we're glad to see that the mod was cracked so quickly. Starfield DLSS 3 FG mod by Pure Dark has been cracked already. Paid mods get what they deserve for having DRM implemented. And scrolling down, comments are very similar. The most upvoted include Bro put DRM on his mod. And then beyond the backlash, on top of the fact that Pure Dark's mod has been very quickly cracked and shared for free across the internet, you've got people coming up with their own DLSS 3 mods that are being shared for free on Nexus Mods.
Of course. And this is what's going to happen, is that, like, this is the best thing about the internet, is that whenever something like this happens, like absolute bullshit like this happens, there's always going to be people out there to completely undercut it and completely shit on them. So good for them. It's going to happen every single time. Do you think it took a lot more time and work to do Rested EXP rather than other mods? That's why they charge? Why would it matter how much work you put into something? What would that have to do with anything?
Here is a mod by Luke FZ564. You can see right here that this mod replaces the built-in version of FSR2 with DLSS 3 plus DLSSG to enable frame generation. And obviously this garnered a lot more positive sentiments than the paywalled DRM'd version. And for those who are playing Starfield and want to test out the DLSS mod, there's a guide here by Rock Paper Shotgun that walks you through how to install DLSS in Starfield. Scrolling down, you can see there's a step-by-step process, as well as an explanation for how DLSS 3 sharpens the image, but it can also provide higher frame rates thanks to its NVIDIA frame generation technology. However, frame generation is only available to those using a card from the RTX 4000 series of graphics cards. There's a good amount of people who use the RTX 4000 series of graphics cards, and we're expecting that such mods that bring DLSS would be among the first to make their way to Starfield. Currently, mods aren't officially supported, but that will happen down the line. But while we wait for that, you know, DLSS was one of those implementations that seemed obvious, and to see such an obvious mod be paywalled and DRM'd, one that is so useful at that genuinely enhances frame rates. And yeah, Starfield, when it comes to performance, it's, you know, it's quite demanding.
Is it bad?
I can attest that myself.
That sucks.
And so this is one mod that people would like to see just available for free. So much of modding is that communal sharing of incredible, not only new content, but also incredible new fixes and features that just make the experience better for everyone. And the appeal of the modding community and what gives mods longevity is how accessible they are. And the second you start paywall...
Well, I think that's right. It's true. Like, it's about how accessible mods are and about how many people can just actively go into a game and download mods for it. If you made it to where people had to pay to download every mod they used in Skyrim, Skyrim would not even be probably half as popular as it is. Most of the people that I think play Skyrim nowadays are playing it modded, especially on PC. Maybe if you don't take into account like console and everything like that. And so this is why it's so harmful to a community for people to start paying for mods. Yeah, it's player retention. So yeah, it actively hurts the game.
And DRMing mods and setting that as sort of the standard of what mods should be, that's where, you know, modding loses the spirit that makes it so special and that can take games and give it a level of longevity.
Yeah, 10-year longevity. Look at World of Warcraft, for example, you know?
That you otherwise wouldn't see. Not to mention that DLSS is essentially like a graphic setting, and if Bethesda paywalled a graphic setting, there'd be plenty of backlash. But for a modder to do that, you know, that's a damn shame.
Well, I think if Bethesda paywalled the setting, people would be equally furious. Yeah, so I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, if you had to pay money, if you had to pay extra money just to be able to play the game, and like, yeah, they'd be even more mad. Yeah, exactly.
One of those basic features that feels like should never be paywalled, because what you have here is essentially a graphic setting that you're selling as a microtransaction, or in the case of the modder, you know, as essentially a subscription fee for what should be a feature that already exists. And the fact that it's not in Starfield at launch already kind of sucks, but like charging for that, whether it's on the developer side of things or on the modding side of things, you know, that's not a great precedent to set. So
yeah, it's not. And as soon as you allow it to happen, then everybody's going to start doing it.
This is kind of a basic summary of the controversy surrounding Pure Dark and his DLSS 3 mod, and the way he decided to approach releasing that, and the way he decided to try to monetize that and DRM that, and just kind of do something very corporate feeling when modding shouldn't feel corporate. You know what I mean? It shouldn't feel so monetization driven.
I don't even think it's an argument of how things should feel. I think it's an argument of this being actively parasitic and bad for games. Like, it's bad for games, and it's bad for the companies that are trying to sell the games. And it will hurt the people that are playing the games more than anybody else. And the only people that come out ahead for this are the actual people that are making the mods. So yeah, I think it's just that simple. It'll hurt the company. Yes, it is. I think if we want change, we should incentivize these devs and companies to take action against paywalled content. I think that most of these companies, like, they don't even give a fuck. Yeah, they really don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think they care that much. So, like, and also the community solves this problem itself. They do. Because now it's free. The working class measure their days in terms of money. Modders do it out of passion, but they live in a capitalist society. In my opinion, they should be allowed to payroll and copyright as long as it's their own code. No, they shouldn't. Just because you want to do something for money doesn't mean that you can. You are not entitled to make a living off of every single thing that you want to do. Just because you want to do something doesn't mean that you are entitled to make a living off of it. What a ridiculous way to look at things. That's like people saying, oh, well, WoW Arena players, they have to, dude, they have to sell carries or they wouldn't be able to play all the time. It's just so ridiculous that people think like this.
And I also have questions surrounding whether he can monetize in such a way where he's straight up paywalling a mod for Starfield and not get into legal trouble. You know, one of the things that makes mods viable and what makes companies allow that stuff is the fact that people aren't monetizing it and making money off of, you know, the developer's product. It's one of those questions that should be raised, but primarily it is about the spirit of modding that feels has been lost with the way Pure Dark has decided to approach something so useful that I feel like any other modder like Luke FZ564 here would just kind of put out for free as a service to the community, as a service to the game for the longevity of the game and support.
That's the best fucking thing about it, is that people like this, bad actors, get naturally pushed out of the community. That's it. But they can try to make money. Nothing's wrong about that, in my opinion. Well, yeah, they can try to make money, just not with paywalling. Yeah, yeah, let nature take its course. Yeah, it literally doesn't matter because people are just going to download it anyway.
Just kind of fostering something that you know will only grow bigger and bigger as long as it remains accessible, which paywalling and DRM
makes it not accessible.
Defeats the purpose of.
Exactly.
But you know, this is one man's take on all of this, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on all of this. Is Pure Dark justified in paywalling and adding DRM to his DLSS 3 mod, or are you in the camp of the backlash where that just feels like really scummy and
it's very scummy,
just again defeats the spirit of modding, and it feels like it sets a bad precedent. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.
There it is. There it fucking is. I'm glad he covered this. I actually hadn't heard about this until now. So yeah, let me go ahead and link you guys the video. That was a good one. I'm so glad to see this. I don't understand the logic that like people have that like somehow every single person deserves to make, like, the problem is that I think that there's just this trap that people have where like if they see, if like they perceive two things that are the same, but like there's like a standard for one that's different than the other, they just they have to express that because it makes them feel smart. You know, they're like, okay, well, I can see that these two things are kind of the same, so I'm gonna call you out for having the same standard on the two things, right? But the truth is that they're like dramatically different. They're like way different from each other, but people just don't really want to see that because they want to think they're smart. That's what it is. But yeah, I think that I think mods, every single mod should never be paywalled. Every single time that a mod is paywalled, if it was up to me, if I was the company, I would try to shut it down. I think it's very, very harmful, and it creates a bad environment for the actual consumers. And think about how much worse games like World of Warcraft and Skyrim would be if paid mods became the norm, paid mods became the culture. So it is actively harmful to the player base, it is actively harmful to the developer because it makes the quality of playing the game and the barrier to entry of getting involved with the game higher. It is harmful to everybody except for the modders. You are not entitled to make a living off of playing and making mods for somebody else's fucking game. Just the same as you are not entitled to make a living just for playing another person's game. If somebody doesn't want you playing their game, or they don't want you paywalling videos of their game on YouTube or some other website like Patreon, then I think that's totally fine as well. You can try, though. You can do whatever you want to do. It's like buying a ticket to a buffet, grabbing a plate, and then trying to sell it out in the parking lot. Yeah. I like that. Actually, you know what? Yeah. That's a good one.